It's a good way of thinking. Maybe there's some elements of truth to it, but it's a really good guess. So this is a hypothesis. So they studied lots of different language communities and groups, and they looked at language and thought and how we interact with each other. And they came with a couple of corollaries, which I think are pretty neat. So here they are, A and B, A and B. A is always easy to remember. Linguistic determinism, language determines thought. It's a fascinating way of looking at the world. Superior reward hypothesis says you cannot see, feel, or experience reality beyond your labels of how you describe it. If you don't have a way to describe something, it doesn't exist. If you don't have a way of talking about it, it has no value. I think that's pretty fascinating. If you cannot describe it, if you cannot talk about it, then it's not real to you. Your language determines your thought. So here's a real big push for expanding vocabulary. An expanded vocabulary is an expanded mind, and it's a richer world of understanding life around you. Simple vocabulary, simple life. Expanded, rich life. Does that make sense? It's a hypothesis, but I think it's really fascinating. And this other one, linguistic relativity, it's the other main leg of the hypothesis. Different language communities see the world differently. That actually makes sense to me. Different language communities see the world differently. How many people are bilingual, trilingual? Quite a few of you are, right? Right? So, Omar, what languages? Spanish and English. When you're angry, do you express yourself in Spanish more than English?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Adolfo?
Always.
Yeah. Do you find yourself sometimes there's some expressions in one language that work better for you and what's going on in here that another one doesn't do? That's linguistic relativity. That's linguistic relativity. It says I see the world differently through this language,
especially anger
versus this language. And you ever feel limited by certain language?
Can you elaborate?
Limited, like you can't express stuff going on.
Yes.
Just like
Translating medical things from English to Spanish.
Yeah, it does not always fit. It does. That's a great example, Carl. It does not always fit, and that's what. So this should make a lot of sense. Different language communities see the world differently because they have different expressions and ideas. It's a hypothesis. It makes perfect sense to me. It makes perfect sense. Questions on this? It's pretty cool. I think for verbal communication,
yes.
I think this is pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool stuff. So, all right, let us transition. Let us move away from verbal communication and let's go nonverbal. So let me knock this guy down. And let's. Are you guys Pixar fans?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Do they have any? I don't know if they have any new Pixar films coming out. I don't know what's the most recent one.
Toy Story, I believe.
I would say Elemental, but I just watched that one. That was.
Oh, the fire,
Yeah,
the fire and water.
It has like.
That was very playful.
Yeah, no, but it has like racial undertones about like
Yes.
immigration and stuff.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about animation. You can tackle